Dogfish Radio School. I think you're one of our newest members. You get to follow Stuart. John's piece is just going to be a little bit longer. He wrote this a while ago. It fit the theme perfectly, and we figured we'd have him read a little long.
It seems a little clipped. I've cut off almost as much as I'm going to read here. This story. As I was daydreaming at my desk next to an open window, the odor of hot asphalt and snippets of passing conversations sifted through the screen. This office wasn't in the best section of Wilmington, nor the worst. We referred to it as a neighborhood in transition. One block east towards Center City is the trendy revitalization of Trenton Place. This two-block strip of elegant brick Victorian townhouses is the only area east of I-95 where mature poplars line both sides of the street, forming a tunnel of dappled shade. In the same time it takes you to brew your morning coffee, you can walk to the DuPont building or the glass-towered office buildings just east of Trenton Place. Young suited professionals carrying slick leather briefcases form an educated army every morning, lunch, and quitting time, back and forth to the enclave of Trenton Place. Amid the foot traffic passing my window, I spot a young woman carrying a huge bundle on her shoulders. She was approaching from the south, the opposite direction in culture from Trenton Place, yet only a block or two away. It wasn't safe to sit on your own front steps on the south side, where corner liquor stores are sheathed in iron bars and discarded cracked vials glare in the curbside litter. Stripped cars on vacant lots serve as jungle gyms, and not a blade of grass or a tree in sight. The young woman carrying the bundle appeared she may have slept in that same rumpled dress that she wore. Her hair was pinned up, but dark straggles hung loose in her face. She was thin and walked with a staggering gait from the burden of her bundle, yet she maintained a determined stride and expression. My attention drifted back to my work. Moments later, her face and shoulders returned past my window without her bundle. 2 minutes later, there she was again with another sizable load, wrapped in a fuzzy blanket and bound with bungee cords. Looking out, there at the entrance of the 10th Street Bridge, sat the first bundle. The one she now carried, she placed about 30 feet in front of the first. Again and again, she returned past my window, bearing hefty loads, each time placing the last in front of the first. The woman was leapfrogging her worldly goods across the bridge in 6 or 7 bundles. She was moving west, the direction of a much more stable neighborhood. Were there children to come back for? Had she been evicted? A breakup? Was she moving to something or away from something? Traveling the same streets as the leather briefcases, she too was attempting to improve her life, leaving the ghetto behind. I like to think she was moving to something, back to her family, a lover, or a job and a fresh start on the west side, where houses have front porches and most all the streets are shaded.
Is another person who's not read for us for 5 years. 5 years. So Terry Clifton.
Well, first of all, I need to put Mary Beth in the spot here, because if it wasn't for Mary Beth pushing me 5 years ago, I would neither be standing here nor be a member of the guild. But after I was completely a dish rag, after the first release of A Random Soldier, almost 5 years ago today, Mary Beth said, "What are you working on?" And I said, I think I'm done writing. And she said, "Oh, no, you're not." So in the last 2 years, I've completed 2 novels under Mary Beth's tuition and mentorship. But it's been her friendship that led me here tonight. So I wrote about 2,000 words this week, trying to fill, the things they carried. The things they carried was the catalyst for the writing of A Random Soldier. And it was the book that pushed Chad to ask me if I would write a story. Everything I wrote was either crap or I didn't think I could get through it. So I'm trying my hand at poetry. I carried a baby in my womb. in my arms. I carried a child's dreams, visions of his future, knowledge of the path he'd chosen. I carried a folded flag crushed against my chest, and I remember still the feel of my heart beating against it. I carried the truth of a young man, brave enough to tell it, and a promise to speak it for him. I carried his story, and I carried on.
Judy had said to me earlier in the week, I don't know if I want to read, it's serious and it's morbid, and I said, who are you talking to? I mean, who are you talking to? So this is that portion of the evening, because what was that? We stood in the hospital lobby. It was dark outside, only my sister's van in the empty parking lot. The guard who was there when I first arrived, shortly after midnight, nodded in recognition. My nephew just died, I had told him then. I'm here to help my sister carry his things home. Now, as we approached the automatic sliding glass doors, they opened with a loud, sucking sound. My sister froze, then stepped back. The doors whooshed shut. I can't leave, she whispered. It had taken 3 hours to carry everything to the van. Zachary had been in the ICU for 2 months. My sister lived there with him. There were bags of clothes, dirty and clean, Tupperware containers, Zach's Yu-Gi-Oh cards, books, CDs. He'd been in a coma and was on a ventilator, but my sister read to him every minute, Star Wars music playing on the CD. In the lobby, she again took a step forward. The doors sucked open. Again, she panicked, stepped back. The doors whooshed, closed. When I looked, the guard averted his eyes. Everything was in the van. Zach's leg braces, favorite blanket, baseball cap. My sister's hands were empty. A step forward, the sucking sound. A step back, whoosh. Forward and back, the sucking sound, then whoosh. Again and again. It would be the second time in 2 years leaving a dead child in the hospital in the middle of the night. The sucking sound and the doors opened, then whoosh, closed, over and over. The doors sucking open, then whoosh, suck, open, whoosh, closed. The sound like labored breathing. I felt helpless, panicked, my sister unable to walk out that door. Suck, then whoosh, suck, then whoosh. Too late, I realized I shouldn't have packed everything. I should have left her something to carry. Mike O'Neill, come save us.
Did Bush pass spell check, by the way?
Time. Can you hear me? All right, I got 2 short pieces instead of one big one here. When we used to go to Florida, one of our favorite towns was this place that had lots of antique stores in it. And got me is that every antique store you went in, there were always tables with photographs, old photographs. I know people didn't carry them around back in the 1800s and 1900s, but they were just, I guess they bought people's whole estates and just put them out there. I saw them, it struck me, like, who's going to buy these things? I call this antique store. I see a child staring back at me, an image discarded on a table in some unknown antique store. No name, no date, nothing special about him. Did he have a family and live a long, happy life? Did he die young, forgotten over time? Was his home far away, or maybe on some nearby street? Why isn't his image with family instead of the store, being pawed by strangers point and be tossed back on that table, perhaps for eternity. Is this what will become of me? Will there be a time when no one will know who I was, who I loved, and who loved me? Will I become a haunting image, faded over time, tossed out as if I never existed, destined to live forever in some no-name antique store? All right, it's not getting any better here either. And keeping with the things we carry, I think I can get through this one. Lipstick, cell phones, pictures of the kids and grandchildren are all some of the more personal items you might have in your person at any time. Pens, tissues, and keys are some of the practical things people carry around. We all carry things on our being, both common and unique to our persona. We're required to carry personal ID, such as driver's license, social security card, etc. And everyone has at least a little cash on them, or a credit card at least. But some of us carry other things, dark things, things we don't even know about until something goes wrong. Mine went wrong with a routine physical 2 years ago, followed by a sobering biopsy result. I was enjoying great health and enjoying life. Where did this come from? Even after radiation and ensuing normal test results, I can't be sure that I'm still not carrying the cancer around. I'll probably never be sure unless something goes wrong again. In the meantime, I'll be sure to add the title Cancer Survivor to the list of things I want to carry around. I'm just curious, voluntary show of hands, of course. I'm wondering how many people have cancer or are cancer survivors that are willing. It's amazing. Amazing. God bless you.